Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Homestead Challenge. I am very excited to welcome a guest today. We don't often have guests. Well, I've never had a guest, and we're not going to have too many on here, but I really feel like Emily of Faithful Family Farmer has a lot to share with us that I couldn't offer you in regards to natural skincare, as well as owning a business, a product-based business as a busy mama and a homesteader. So welcome, Emily. Can you just tell us a little bit about yourself, your background, like what your homestead kind of looks like, your family, all of that?
Yeah, well, thank you so much for having me on. I
Hmm.
appreciate that. I'm so excited. So I was never raised on a homestead. I was actually very much a city girl. So the whole concept of homesteading to me, if you would have told me 10 years ago, was like absolutely not, would never do something like that, would never touch an animal, like very city, right? And so whenever I met my husband, 2015, he lived on 30 acres with his parents, and they bought the property that they have with cows already on it. And so they kind of were just thrown into the whole homesteading thing, whether they liked it or not. And they eventually got rid of their cows. They, went down to city life as well, still lived in the country. So when me and my husband met, we were both very kind of sick. We were healing from autoimmune disease. He had Lyme disease, and I was healing from autoimmune disease myself. And so we were just both in a place of vulnerability and we needed to heal. And the medical system unfortunately couldn't help us. And so that's kind of when we started to seek like more natural ways. So we became certified lymphatic therapists, and it was in our hometown. And we helped so many people who were sick and just also needing just healing. And so we really had compassion on those people. And through that time, me and my husband always felt like we were gonna create something, but we just never knew, like, what it was, or, like, we didn't even feel like we had the capabilities to create something. We were so young, we got married at 20, 21, and we just were so clueless. And so fast forward 6 years later, we have 2 children now, and the Lord just worked it out to where we were able to buy property right next door to my in-laws. So all together, we're able to kind of homestead. My 2 children, my daughters, I have 2 girls. They have just jumped right in to the homestead lifestyle. We purchased some goats. That was our first animal that we purchased, was a herd of goats, and then we worked to dairy cows. So my in-laws do the dairy cows, we do the dairy goats. We all have chickens together, probably about 100 chickens total. We raise rabbits for meat. I'm trying to think what other animals we have. We probably have some, geese, just random animals that come here and there. And I would say the desire to start a business came about 2 years ago. I was doing some virtual assistant work for some people who were in a similar niche as us. And it really just, I don't know, it did something to me. I saw how hard they were working and I saw the like benefits of it for them. And it was really encouraging. And I think that that's where the desire really came in. And we originally wanted to start with just goat's milk soap. And my husband was like, we got to go bigger than that. He was like, we got to do something different. And ozone was a big part of our healing journey. We've been having an ozone machine for the past, 8 years. And he was like, let's do something with ozone. And so that's kinda how the business started. That's how the homestead adventure started. It all just kinda unraveled without us even realizing in a sense.
Isn't that crazy? I can see like step by step how that worked out for you. And I love that you actually do have the background in
Mhm,
like the lymphatic system and you actually
mhm.
know what you're talking about. I hate to
Yeah.
say that there's people that like sell that kind of stuff that don't know what they're talking about, but I truly feel
Yes.
like
Yeah.
you have all of these skills
Mhm.
necessary, and then just step by step of the way you have built this cool business. But what what is ozonated skincare? Because most people are gonna be like
Yeah.
ozone, like
Yeah.
what is that?
I know. Yeah. I know. I think that's the biggest thing. That's the biggest hurdle that we've been trying to share with people. Because a lot of people that are already in the wellness realm, like they know what ozone therapy is. So when they hear ozonated skincare, I think they kind of piece the two and two together. But if somebody doesn't know what ozone is, so there's obviously ozone therapy. It's one of the therapies that a lot of people will use on their healing journey. So people who have cancer, autoimmune disease, Lyme disease, like anything you can think of, ozone is so beneficial in the healing process. It's naturally antibacterial, antifungal, antiviral, very good at killing pathogenic, things. And so what we do, instead of taking ozone gas, because it is a gas, it's O2 that's converted into O3. So whenever you think oxygen, you think just two molecules, right? But whenever you think ozone, it's actually three. So that third molecule really adds just extra healing benefits. And we know that oxygen is essential for healing. I mean, your body needs oxygen in order to thrive and heal. And so ozone just gives you that extra boost that you need to really heal on your healing journey. And so we take the ozone gas and we infuse it into an organic oil. It's a pretty long process. Like every oil is different. So, like for ozonated olive oil, it takes at least a week to fully ozonate the oil. So, yeah, it's a very unique process. But once you figure out how to do it and how to work with it, very, very beneficial for the skin. I mean, there's actually hospitals that will use ozone in their burn unit to heal like wounds because it's very good for speeding up the healing process with wounds and stuff like that.
Yeah, and I can see how that would be very beneficial for skincare. I'm a little filtered out right now, but I'm definitely starting to get some wrinkles and whatnot. And
Uh-huh.
I know that a lot of people like, I love that skincare. So if you're moving towards a more natural life, skincare is often a great place to start because it's
Mhm.
usually just like you. You're not probably buying skincare for your little kids or your husband, which
Right.
you do have some cool products for husbands. But
Thank you.
um, I think it's a great place to start because if not everybody is totally on board, like, hey, this is something
Mhm.
that you can do for yourself. So if somebody is moving from like conventional skincare, what products would you recommend? What are your best selling products for those people? And do you have
Mhm.
any tips from making that transition from, I don't know, I slowly transitioned over time. So I like
Yeah.
started off by like going all of the like clean at Sephora products. So it's
Right.
kind of clean, kind of
Yeah.
not, but better, definitely better
Mhm.
than regular stuff.
Yeah.
So I was always using like fancy serums though. So some people might be starting off from using that, and some people might be just
Mhm.
now starting to get to the age that I am that maybe needs that skincare. So tips for transitioning, tell
Mhm.
me it all.
Yes. So I think a lot of people are scared to make the switch to natural products. I think they have this thing in their mind that just because it's natural, it's not going to work. They think that the chemicals that they have been using are so good for their skin. But what's interesting is when you make the switch to a natural product that has all of these minerals, antioxidants that are naturally in those plants or those herbs or those essential oils, whatever it is, they actually have a great benefit on your skin. And you'd actually be surprised. A lot of the times people will tell me they switched from like a $200 chemical filled serum to our serum, and they're like, I actually find myself reaching for your serum because I can feel the difference and I can feel that it's actually benefiting my skin. So I would say whenever you make the switch to natural products, just keep in mind that obviously the smells are going to be different. They are going to be more earthy and more natural. Not that it's a bad smell, but it's a different smell than what you're going to get at the store because a lot of the times the stuff at the store has fragrance in it.
Mhm.
So the scent could either be more mild or it can be just a new thing that you've never smelt before. And I know, like with ozonated products, they naturally will have an ozonated smell. So, like, ozone smells very clean. A lot of people describe it after it rains. You know how sometimes you smell a very fresh, clean smell after it
Mhm.
rains? A lot of people will say that that is what ozone smells like. So I would say to keep that in mind for people. And also, like I know with our oil cleanser, if you've never oil cleansed before, you can go through a purging process. So it will literally pull stuff out of your pores that have been there for years that need to come out. Not everybody will go through that, but some people can. So I say keep that in mind when you make the switch. Even with natural deodorants. If you've never switched to a natural deodorant before, you're going from antiperspirant to a natural deodorant, you're probably going to stink for a while. And that's just because your lymphatic system can finally breathe and it can finally release all of the toxins that have just been shoved and shoved in there. Um, so I would say just just give it a little bit of time and patience and have, grace, like give yourself grace as you make the transition. And there's no shame in starting at one product at a time and slowly working your way up to completely transitioning.
I totally agree. That's so funny with the deodorant. I think I mean, I started just transitioning years
Uh-huh.
ago, probably I think like to Native, the brand.
Mhm.
And I've definitely tried like all of the different ones, but I was really excited to find yours and the ingredients really work for me. There are some
Yeah.
that are really heavy in baking soda, I find, and
Yes.
that gives me bad rashes.
Yes. Well, yeah, we were have yeah. So we have a baking soda one, and I didn't realize how many people are sensitive to baking soda.
Hmm.
So we now make a baking soda one, which is extra strength, and then we make one without baking soda for that reason.
Hmm. I just got yours and I
Yes.
have been loving it so far
Oh, good,
very
good. That
much.
makes me happy.
Yeah. So tell me about your best selling products. So we know you have a deodorant. We know you
Mhm.
kind of mentioned cleansing oil. Tell us about like all your favorite products. And I actually would like for you to talk a little bit about that lymphatic product as well.
Yeah, well, I was actually going to say that's one of our best sellers. So it's a ozonated lymphatic salve, is what it is. I mean, those they sell like hotcakes. People just love those so much. And I think a lot of it has to do with a lot of people have stagnant lymph. A lot of people get swollen nodes, and they think that it automatically, I shouldn't say death sentence, but they think it's a death sentence because they think of a swollen node and they freak out. We saw this a lot in our practice where people would come and they would freak out. They'd be like, I have a swollen node. And we're like, it's okay. It just is your body's alarm system telling you that it's fighting something. And that's how your body should be. So not that swollen nodes are a good thing, but it means your body's working, right? It means your body's telling you something is off. So whenever you apply the ozonated lymphatic salve, it's going to automatically help to promote natural lymphatic drainage. I've gotten so many good customer feedback from it. Like people were saying, like within 24 hours, their swollen lymph nodes were gone. And I really think that that is accredited to the herbs that we use and the essential oils, but also the ozone in there. This is one of our strongest products with ozone. So it's very, very highly concentrated with the ozonated oil that we use. And we know that ozone provides oxygen to that area. So I really think the two together really complement each other. So that's definitely our bestseller. And then the next one, I would say either the cleansing oil or the face serum. They're kind of tied right now. Um, I love both of those products so much, and I get a lot of good feedback from them as well. I guess it just depends on if you're more of a face serum person or if you like oil cleansing. It just depends on the person, really.
Yeah. I love oil cleansers. I probably moved to one of those also like a few years ago and it melts off your makeup so much better. I'm like, I don't
Yes.
wear near as much makeup as I used to back in the day. I was like full
Yeah.
on makeup girl back in the day, but I still do wear makeup
Yeah.
and it just helps melt it off without feeling like you have to do like, I used to have to do like makeup remover and then clean and then it was still, yeah, it
Yes.
just didn't work very well.
Yes,
So,
no. Yes, that I really enjoy the oil cleanser. Like, actually, I had heard of oil cleansing. I used to do it and it didn't work for me. But I think because I didn't have the right ratios back then, I didn't know what I was doing. So whenever I formulated this one, I was like, okay, I need to make sure that I'm getting the right ratios of everything. And I really like it. It works very, very well for me. Like it takes off things very easily. It doesn't strip your skin. It actually makes it feel moisturized.
yeah, that's so nice. So nice. So, how are you managing to have this product-based business with a legitimate homestead and being a mom, all of the things? Are you okay?
No. No. The answer to that is no.
Uh,
I am definitely not gonna act like I'm perfect. I'm not gonna act like it's easy because it's not. It's really not easy. But I will say, whenever you have a desire and you want something so bad, you will just chase that dream as hard as it may be. You will chase it and you will go after it and you will just keep going, you know? And I will say, my husband is a huge help. Like, I couldn't do it without him. He really is like the backbone for the business, he's the backbone for our family, for the homestead, everything. Like, he keeps everybody very level headed, you know? So I would say teamwork is how we're getting through it, and obviously lots of prayer and just really trusting. That's it's teamwork. I couldn't do it by myself. If there are times where I get very overwhelmed, I feel like I get very overstimulated sometimes. um but I would say teamwork. That's how we're doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I totally get that. Yeah, I couldn't do it without my husband either. Seriously, like,
No.
whew. But yeah,
Yeah.
that overwhelmed feeling
Yeah.
always.
Oh,
I totally
yeah.
get that.
Oh,
So,
yeah.
but I just want to say, like, seriously, so proud of you for what you're doing. But I can tell that it does light you up. So, what has been the best part for you about having this business?
Oh, there's so well, thank you for that, by the way. There's so many things to it. Like, I don't know. I think like knowing that people are enjoying the products, first of all, that makes like anytime somebody messages me and tells me like a testimony, I just like it makes me so happy. Like it makes my day. It really does. And it gives me that extra strength to keep going. Because there are times where I'm like, I can't do it. I don't want to do it anymore. And then I'll get something really encouraging. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to keep going. So I think the best part about it is knowing that it is helping people, and being like somebody who suffers from eczema and has been healing from eczema for a while. Hearing stories about our products helping other people that maybe struggle with eczema or even like psoriasis or any other, even acne, whatever it might be, it really gives me a sense of just I don't know, peace and it keeps me going. It really is, I don't know, it's a blessing and I'm so thankful for all of our customers. I think the support is what keeps us going.
Well, we have a visitor.
That's okay.
And I was going to mention, it has to be so cool for your kids to see that too. And it also has to be cool that you know these things now. And as your kids, I love you. Not right now, baby. Okay, I'll see you in a second. Okay. As your kids, hit the age where they're gonna have some skin issues and things, at least I definitely did. It's gotta be so
Yeah.
cool that you're gonna be equipped to help them with that. That is so cool.
Yes, as much as I can.
Yeah, yeah.
As much as
There's
I can.
I don't know if I could have been helped back in the day. It was rough.
Yeah. Yeah, I understand. Oh.
Uh, so do you have, I mean, you may not, and that's okay, but do you have any tips for like time management? And it's okay if you don't, but if you
Um,
do, like, what is, like, walk us through a little bit of like, do you have a schedule or are you just winging it?
well okay, so a lot of the I am a very schedule-oriented person, but I'm very bad at starting the schedule, if that makes sense. Like, I have it in my mind, like, okay, this is what I'm gonna do tomorrow. This is the time I'm gonna wake up and I'm gonna do this, this, this. But I think with homesteading and with a business, you have to learn to be flexible and you have to learn that it's not always going to go as planned. I think you could probably understand that with motherhood too. Like you have this idea of what you want to do today, but it could completely change like 500 times worse than you expected, or
Yes.
you know how that goes. So I would like to say that we have a schedule, but at this moment, I haven't, we do have a somewhat of a schedule. Like, wake up, eat breakfast, pack orders, do all the farm chores. Like, we do have that schedule, but it's not like at this time. I would just say a lot of it has to do with also letting go of control, like, letting go of control, feeling like you have to be in control of everything. I feel like that has helped us so much to not get too overwhelmed. Does that kinda make sense? I don't know if
Yeah.
that kinda
No,
okay.
absolutely. That makes sense. I feel the same way. I've talked about it on a couple episodes here, but I am like just starting to really get back into getting a routine. It's so hard if you don't have like
I know.
a full-time job or a 9 to 5 where you
Yes.
have to be somewhere at certain times. So I'm kind of treating my life like a business and running
Yeah.
my home like I'm the CEO. That's kind of the goal. And I've learned all
Yeah.
that through the Systemize Your Life podcast with Chelsea Joe. I seriously, everyone, I've talked about it before, but
Yeah.
it's helped me so much. And she also does business. So if you do have a business, I would
Yeah.
highly recommend checking her out for that because whew,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
like, I don't want to say that I feel on top of my home stuff right now because we never are on top of everything at home. There's always
Yes.
something, but
Yes.
I like whenever something does go wrong now, I like feel like there's like a backup plan where I know the steps
Yeah.
to fix my life.
Yes. Yes.
But
Definitely.
what I hear is that you're kind of, you seem like you maybe had the same personality as me, where it's like before kids, you were probably very, very organized and maybe rigid. And
Yeah.
maybe there's been a little bit of a mindset shift. So
Oof.
going from a city girl to a homesteader and going from, no kids to kids and a business and all of that, have you made like any mindset shifts, or is there like any, I don't know, tools that you use?
Yeah. Oh man. Well, I have changed so much since even like just looking back at how I used to be and looking at where I am now. It's oh, man, it's so crazy. It really is amazing. Like not to say that I'm perfect right now at all, but like I feel like having children makes you so selfless. Like and it makes you realize how selfish you were before you had kids, and it just helps you to change into an even better version of you without realizing it. I feel like you're just more, I don't know, you're more thoughtful towards things. And I don't know, does that kind of make sense? Like,
Yes. Like,
uh, I don't even know how to describe it.
I totally agree. Sometimes I like look back and I'm like, ugh.
Yeah, no, it's so true. And like everybody that I went to high school with, like I know they follow me on Instagram. Not everybody, but some of them, my close friends, they follow me and they're like, I can't believe that you have goats. And I'm like, me either. You know, me either. And so I just wonder like what else goes through their mind now that I'm doing all of this stuff too. And I guess there definitely has been a mindset shift with all of the things that we're doing. Just your perspective changes when you have kids. You just look at things differently. I don't even know how to describe it. And I don't even know how I look at things now compared to how I looked at things in the past. I would just say you learn to be more selfless and more giving. And I feel like that kind of can fall into like the business model as well, is also always trying to be selfless and considerate of your customers as well. I feel like if I started the business before I had kids, I probably wouldn't be as good of a business owner as I would be today. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no,
Kind of.
that's a really cool perspective. I really, yeah, I enjoyed that.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. So, since you already have so much on your plate, are you guys planning on doing any different things on the homestead this year? Are there any goals, projects, or are you just gonna maintain?
I think right now we're just maintaining. We're
I love
just
that.
we're just going with things. I think at one point we wanted to go so big that it was so overwhelming. Like we had like so many goats. We had like 15 goats at one time. We had like so many cows, and it gets like sometimes with a homestead you can go too hard, too fast, too soon, and it can really take a toll on you. And I'm sure a lot of people listening can kind of relate to that. It's like chicken math. When you buy one
Yeah.
chicken, you end up with like 5 goats, 10 cows, and so many other animals. So I think we're finally at the place where we realize we have to make it to where it's manageable and it's also enjoyable. Because sometimes when you do things too big, it almost gets unenjoyable, at least for us, not everybody. But I think for now, that's kind of where we're at in our homestead journey, just keeping it manageable, but also making sure that we're still enjoying it, if that makes sense.
I love that. I love that. Sorry, my dog is now making noises. Speaking of
No,
animals, the
it's
only
okay.
animal that I have is
It's okay.
a little out of control. But
It's okay.
so anyway, so is there anything else you want to tell us about your skincare company? Any other skincare tips? Anything that you want to tell
uh,
us?
Honestly, I don't know. There's so many things that I know people probably have questions about. And I don't think of the questions because I'm around ozone all the time. So I think I always like to tell customers or potential customers, like, if you ever have a question or you're unsure about something, like maybe about our products, or if you're unsure about what ozone is, or you need more clarity on something, just message me. I'm always happy to talk to people. I love talking to
Yeah,
people. It must be like a Southern thing. I just love Southern hospitality. I love talking to people. So I'm like, I don't want people to ever feel like they can't ask something or come to us with a question or a concern. I think that's the main thing I want people to know, is that we're here to help, and we just care. We're real people who care,
I
you
love
know.
that. That's so cool. So, if people do have questions, where can they find you?
So they can either go to our Instagram, Faithful Family Farmer, or they can come to our website, shop.faithfulfamilyfarmer.com. We have a contact page on there. We also have a blog, faithfulfamilyfarmer.com. plenty of ways to reach out to us. They can contact us through the contact form, reach out on Instagram, whatever is most convenient for them.
All right, awesome. And I will have all of your information linked in the show notes, or if you're watching us on YouTube, in the description below. Thank
Mhm.
you so much for being on here. I just was
Yeah.
so excited to talk to you today. So excited about your company and just seeing it grow. I feel like I've seen it since the beginning. So it's
Yeah, you
pretty cool.
have.
Pretty cool to
Yeah.
watch.
Well, I appreciate it. Thank you so much. And I was so much looking forward to this too. I was so excited. So thank you. I appreciate it.
Good, absolutely. And if anybody has questions, please reach out to her.